In 1963, the world was introduced to one of the most iconic monsters in British TV history, the Daleks. Spawned from a race called the Carleds, the mutated remains of their kind were housed in metal tanks in order to survive the radiation produced by their war with the Thals. The Daleks captured the imaginations of a generation. As a result of their mammoth success, the villains would return as series regulars. Of course, where there's a successful property, greedy businessmen will follow, spawning DalekMania. Daleks everywhere, jigsaws, toy guns, annuals, you name it. So logically, the next move in this pop culture phenomenon was to create a movie adaptation featuring the fascist Pepperpots. The movies starred Peter Cushing, well known for his appearances in Hammer horror movies alongside Christopher Lee. The Dalek films were a great success, and as you can no doubt guess, merchandise followed, but not particularly in the way you'd expect. You see, after DalekMania, the sales started to dry up a little bit, and there's not that much Dalek movie-specific merchandise from the 60s. But in this video, we're going to explore the merchandise from back in the day right up until now, and what's been made currently. Think about it for a second. Cult sci-fi movies from the 60s are still getting merchandise made today. What a world we live in. Whoa, before you go anywhere guys, make sure you hit that like button and hit the subscribe as well. Really helps out a lot. And make sure you check out part 1 of this series. We're doing a Dalek movie month thing where we do some Dalek movie related videos spread across multiple channels. So part 1 is where myself and Richard went to see the movies at the BFI in London. Part 2 is where Richard Lloyd and Miles Taylor reviewed the first Dalek movie over on Richard's channel, so go check that out as well. Part 3 is where the second movie was reviewed, and that's on Miles' channel, Tailored Vision. And yeah, time of recording, I don't know whether this is up before the live stream or after, but essentially I'm going to be talking about the Dalek movies on a live stream with you guys, joined by a couple of guests, so make sure you check that video out as well. There's going to be a playlist in the description for all of the videos in Dalek Movie Month. Anyway, back to the video. In 1965, following the movie's release, there were various books made related to the particular movie, and a personal favourite of mine is Paint and Draw the Film of Doctor Who and the Daleks, with Dr. Dot puzzle pictures. That is just such a cool title, and yeah, the book featured nice illustrations of the scenes from the movie with little descriptions at the bottom. Also released was a comic book version of the first movie. Dalek Action Paint and Puzzle Book, and the Dalek Pocket Book. The company Chad Valley gave us a slide projector which offered a Dalek which was inspired by the Dalek movie colours. Honestly, it's pretty cool seeing William Hartnell with a Dalek in movie colours. That is bizarre, and I had no idea this thing existed. Then we have the wind-up Dalek, which was also inspired by the movie Dalek Deco, but with no relation to Studio Canal. In order to raise funds for the second movie, Studio Canal decided to partner with Quaker Oats, who offered a range of sugar puffs. Throughout the film, you can't avoid the unsubtle product placements. After all of that devastation, the sugar puffs remained intact. What are these things made from? Dalekanium? Anyway, to promote the film, a tie-in competition was created in which 3 lucky winners could win a real Dalek prop. Psst, BBC, if you want to do that now and give away the Paradigm props, I'd enter about 10,000 times. Anyway, here's a picture of one of the winning Daleks. And next, well, it's a little bit awkward because no matter how much research I do, I can't find much more. Of course, during DalekMania and throughout the film's releases, there's plenty of Daleks from Louis Marks and many other companies producing Dalek merchandise, but not specifically Dalek film related, which is what this video is focusing on. So if you want a full-on video which I go in depth into DalekMania and the merchandise surrounding it, then please do let me know because I'd be quite interested in doing that. In honesty, it's pretty disappointing that we didn't really get that much merchandise based on the films during the film's release, but I guess that's just how it worked back then. So I guess it's up to good old nostalgia to come and save us. And save us it did. In the 1980s, a train model company got hold of a Doctor Who license. How did this happen? I have absolutely no idea. It's kind of insane to think about, but obviously they released Daleks in an array of colours. There's hundreds of them, so I won't go into that, but I'd love to do it at some point. But amongst these releases was a movie Dalek. Now, it's based off of the red and silver Dalek. Now, the same thing happened with Dapol that did with Sevens, as in they don't have the license to produce movie Daleks, but somehow it was made and Studio Canal didn't go knocking on the door. Bizarre. And I think there were also a couple of other variants which featured claws as well, which were kind of movie inspired as well. If I can find them, I'll put them on here, but I'm sure there's many variants of Daleks produced by Dapol which aren't actually documented, so if there are any I'm missing, then do let me know. Stuart Evans of the model company Sevens presented outstanding Doctor Who kits to the BBC's merchandising team and the Terry Nation estate. They impressed them so much the company was given a license to create 1/5 scale self-assembly kits. But what's interesting is that a Dalek movie design was allowed to be produced. Now, I'm not one to speculate, but did they have permission to use this? What with the movie Daleks being owned by Studio Canal and not the BBC? Perhaps there was some leeway with the Nation estate, but either way it's an awesome item to put on the list. Sevens also released a 2-foot Dalek movie kit, and let me just say this thing is absolutely stunning. Like, I honestly thought that this was a full-size prop at first. As for packaging, I have no idea. I've not seen any packaging for this, and I've not really seen that many pictures. It's quite a rare one. In a similar vein to Sevens, model kit company Comet Miniatures produced a movie Dalek kit, with box art based on the first movie. The kit would allow users to create as many variants as they would like from the Dalek movies. I remember owning one of these, but sadly it broke and yeah, I kind of threw it in the bin. Kicking myself. Product Enterprise Limited. I'm sure that name gives you a nostalgia chill. An up-and-coming geeky toy manufacturer. They were here to rescue the movie fans, kicking things off with none other than a pewter keychain. Nothing special, but pretty cool nonetheless. Also produced were laser etch pieces. I don't know the ins and outs of how this works, but basically, inside a block of glass there's a 3D design etched in. How cool is that? One in the shape of TARDIS, a Dalek, and the Dalek saucer. I would love to own one of these someday. I remember seeing them back at the Bradford exhibition and they were just magical. They have such a luxury collector's item feel to them. Lavish. We then saw an 8-inch movie Dalek line, and best of all they had movie-specific packaging. This Dalek was radio-controlled, with a mini TARDIS acting as the controller. The detail on these Daleks was amazing. This was the first time we really saw Dalek action figures with this much detail. There was a red one, a black one, and 2 drones, one with red headlights and one with blue. A bizarre choice, maybe this was a manufacturing error, but I'm pretty sure that these are rarer than the red-topped ones. Of course, this Dalek is radio-controlled, so when it's turned on, the light on the back flashes red, and the head moves side to side. And also, there's some phrases, let's listen to one.
You will be exterminated!
Next up were the micro-movie Talking Daleks, which were also presented in their own unique packaging. These Daleks were obviously based on the ones from the second movie. Now these will fetch a pretty penny now, let me tell you that, because I mean, just look at them. I regret passing on the opportunity to buy these. They feature the same detail as the TV Rollomatic wave they produced, with some minor tweaks, but they still retain the oval in the middle, which is a bit of a shame. Much like their 12-inch counterparts, we got chrome variants, and I actually own one. I mean, it's the most common of the 3, but I still love it. The standard chrome release was packaged in a slightly underwhelming bag. Yeah, perhaps maybe not an amazing choice, but it is what it is. There was also a red chrome variant and a very limited gold-plated release, which was unveiled at the 2008 San Diego Comic-Con, limited to only 500 worldwide. It's interesting how the company credited was Iconic Replicas Limited. Whether they obtained the molds from Product Enterprise or had a partnership with them, I don't know, don't quote me on it, but it's an iconic piece nonetheless. Now, this is a really cool find. This hasn't really been documented anywhere, to be honest. I've never seen anyone mention this, but in the original catalogue pictures for the talking TV Daleks from Product Enterprise, well, you can see that these are actually different from the final releases. Completely different sculpts, and they actually do look more accurate. I don't really know what happened, but maybe it just wasn't as cost effective to do them this way. I don't know, but if you notice on the bottom right, there is a prototype talking movie Dalek. How cool is this? Why has nobody talked about this before?
In the history of robots, one breed stands out as the epitome of evil, and they're back to wreak mayhem and havoc.
On my foot!
Yeah, I've got the power. Inflict your revenge this Christmas on the new remote-controlled Dalek. Yeah, they've got the lot, the flashing lights, electronic banter, and the idle threats. And they're all useless when it comes to climbing the stairs. The new remote-controlled Dalek is now available for $69.99 by dialing 0800 975 4591.
The 12-inch line gave us Daleks from the second movie, also in their own unique packaging. They use the same sculpts as the standard 12-inch Dalek line, but with some small superficial changes, including the base, headlights, and lack of oval between the weapons. They also offered fantastic detail and made for truly stunning collector's pieces, all featuring the same sound chip with quotes from the movies and remote-controlled action. Also released were chrome variants. These pieces are true collector's items and are sure to be a conversation starter for any guests that come around. There was also a gold chrome version which was limited to 50 units, so if you find one of these you are very, very lucky. I wouldn't even take it out of the box, so keep it mint if you find it. Also on the itinerary of Product Enterprise were the Rollickins Daleks. Now these were a nice little homage to the originals that were made in the 60s, but they made movie versions, and this was really cool because they also had custom packaging, which was absolutely amazing, and there's just such a nice little novelty to these. And I don't know how many variants there are. There's just standard ones, there's chrome versions, there's a lot, so feel free to tell me all of them in the comments down below. So after all the buzz of Product Enterprise, well, it kind of went a little bit quiet on that company's front. But next up, we have an unreleased piece, which is the 21-inch movie Dalek. Now, I don't really know much about this. I know that Product Enterprise, towards the end of their career, turned into 1612 collectibles. And I'm just going to read this little extract from Kevin Bunker on the Doctor Who site. They set up as Product Enterprise to make Doctor Who merchandise in 2000. They had the license for 5 years, but it was extended a year at the request of the BBC until Character Options could set up and manufacture the new series products. Once they were up and running Product Enterprise, they ceased trading and the people went and ran it, set up 1612 collectibles. They never went out of business. The company's owner said they were only ever in business to make Doctor Who products, and it was only a 5-year business plan. 1612 collectibles planned to make 1/6 scale statues, and that didn't go to plan as they were poor sellers, so they let the license lapse as it wasn't worth renewing. Same for the big movie Dalek. So from this I can kind of deduce that they did intend on releasing this, but due to poor sales it never got the go-ahead, which is honestly a crying shame because a lot of people would kill for a 21-inch replica of a movie Dalek. Now, I'm pretty sure every single Doctor Who fan owned one of these at some point at a certain age. They are, of course, the inflatable movie Daleks produced by Sci-Fi Collector. I remember these things being absolutely everywhere. In shop windows, exhibitions, you name it. We got 4 variants in the style the Invasion Earth models. Now, I've noticed there's a common theme, there's quite a lot of Dalek Invasion of Earth merchandise. Shame that there isn't that much produced on the first one, but, you know, it is what it is.
Most exciting.
Yes, it was exciting. I played Susan, Doctor Who's granddaughter, in the 2 Doctor Who movies.
So following the release of the best documentary ever made, DalekMania, we were treated to various forms of merchandise, from calendars to coasters to postcards, fridge magnets, a lot of trading cards, t-shirts and more. There was certainly a nostalgic buzz for these films in the early 2000s, which would continue to this day. In 2013, Character Options produced a talking Chase Guard Dalek. Now, I remember when this thing came out. The pre-order for the Forbidden Planet website just literally kind of exploded, and it went to back order straight away because of how popular these things were. Now, you should all know the story here. They found a legal loophole because in the TV story The Chase, they used the movie Dalek props as army builders. This was great as it meant we could have official 5-inch movie Daleks, but not quite movie Daleks because, well, they were owned by the BBC, but they were also Studio Canal Daleks. Now, very confusing, but Dalek6388 did a great video on this, so go check that out. Now, we almost saw these produced in the 3.75-inch range, but they never quite made it to store shelves. You weren't meant to see that picture? Oh, shit. So following this, we got the release of the Jungles of Mechanus set a couple of years back. Now, even though the colours weren't particularly accurate, it was nice to see some official, non-official movie Dalek figures. But if you're watching Character Options, please re-release this thing, it would be absolutely amazing. So that just about wraps it up. I'm absolutely sure that there's things I've missed, but I'm only one man, okay? It's pretty crazy how the majority of officially licensed Dalek movie merch was produced in the last 20 years. Nostalgia sells, and it always will. The information on the early movie Dalek merchandise is pretty scarce, and I struggled to find a website that catalogued everything. So if you, the viewers, have any more info, then please do share down below in the comments. It'd be great to put it all into one place eventually. There's a playlist at the end of this video and in the description where you can watch all of the videos in this series, but most of all, thank you very much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it, and have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe or you will be exterminated.